Hi, my name is Frank Liddy. I'm Inspire's lead mindfulness practitioner. I'd like to talk a piece here about what we'll be doing over the next 8 weeks. So today we're looking at mindfulness. It's not what you think. Clouds are clouds, they're not the sky. You go up in a plane through the clouds, you get a clear blue sky. With mindfulness practice, we discover that we're not our thoughts. Thoughts are thoughts, they're not the mind. Now, some people would be concerned about thinking that, I've got to have no thoughts whatsoever. But it's not about that at all. So mindfulness practice is about the art of falling awake. So it's about being awake, being aware, being alert, being alive, and most of all, it's about being authentic. A good friend of mine in San Francisco told me way back in 1992 that I had two lives. So of course, being from Belfast, I wanted to know, when do I get the second life? And he told me, you get your second life when you realise you've only one. So through mindfulness practice, what happens is, we wake up to who we are. We wake up to our lives. Yeah? We come to our senses: sight, sound, smell, touch, and taste. Yeah? Again, many questions we ask, is mindfulness meditation? No, it's not meditation. Mindfulness is about being ourselves. And truth be told, what happens is, the more that we practice, the more we gain insight into who we are and who we are not. Yep. If I was walking down Royal Avenue and someone was walking behind me, telling me the stories that I tell me, I'd phone for the police and get them lifted. Well, what happens with mindfulness practice? We start then to bring the mind home. And there's a great poem, if you don't mind me reading this to you from this beautiful book. And it's called Love After Love. And this guy, Derek Walcott, seems to capture what mindfulness is. He says, "The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door in your own mirror, and each will smile at others' welcome and say, 'Sit here and eat.' You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror and sit and feast on your life." What a beautiful poem. So over the next 7 weeks, what we'll discover is that we will bring the mind home and we'll start to wake up to who we are and who we are not. So maybe what we could do now is look at the weeks by week by week. So this week is an introduction as to what mindfulness is and what it's not. And then over the weeks, we'll build on, week 1 will be built on by week 2 and week 3 and so on and so forth. So by the end of the program, each and every one of you, right, will have a mindfulness practice. Will have your own mindfulness practice. And then again, for me, it's like learning to ride the mindfulness bike. So if you can imagine that over the next, lot of weeks, you'll be using sort of stabilizers on the bicycle. But as the weeks go by, you'll be able to take those stabilizers off. I remember when I was a young boy of about 7 or 8 years of age, I was half boy, half bike. I cried for a bike, I screamed for a bike, I begged for a bike, and eventually I got a big boy's bike. But you know what? I wouldn't get on the bicycle. What happened was I brought the bicycle around to show off to friends, but I wouldn't get on it. And then my father, in his infinite wisdom, says, "Right, Frankie, it's time to get on the bicycle." So I got on the bike, he held the saddle, right? Not too long, only a few minutes. He let me go, and off I went. A bit wibbly, a wee bit wobbly, a wee bit sort of shaky. Yeah. But the more that I pedalled, the steadier that I became. Yeah. My father didn't shout, "Frankie, 45 revolutions per minute." What happened was I knew what I had to do and I knew how to do it. And the more that I pedalled, the steadier I became. So for me, over the next few weeks, I would look upon that sort of mindfulness bicycle, and that sort of shakiness, that wibbly wobbliness of the handlebars is doubt. So please bring on the doubt. The greater the doubt, the greater the awakening. There's no doubt in my mind. And there's no doubt in my mind that you can practice. Because there is more right with us than wrong with us. And through mindfulness practice, what we discover is we discover that which is right with us. And then suddenly, like the snow melting off a ditch, we start to wake up to this moment, which is the most important moment. The daddy of mindfulness practice in the West is a guy called Jon Kabat-Zinn. And whenever Jon Kabat-Zinn learned mindfulness practice, he brought it to the attention of the hospital where he worked in, because he was working with people who experienced severe and enduring chronic pain. But by introducing the mindfulness practice, people's relationship to their pain has changed. And that really, 40 years ago, was the birth of the success of mindfulness practice. And if you were to ask John Kabat-Zinn, what is mindfulness? He would say it's a particular way of paying attention to what's happening right here, right now, in a non-judgmental way. It's a particular way of paying attention. So the focus here is on attention to what's happening right here, right now, in a non-judgmental way. Now, if you ask me, what is mindfulness? I would reply, vous jadez. Vous jadez. What comes to mind when I say vous jadez? Yes, déjà vu reversed. And tell me, what do you think déjà vu reversed would mean? Correct. This moment has never happened before. Déjà vu, that sense you've been here before? Yeah? Turn it on its head, vous jadez. We have never been here before. And that's called beginner's mind. And in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. So when we begin to practice mindfulness practice, what happens is we enter into what's called beginner's mind. So we leave the past in the past without rehashing the past, and we leave the future to the future without rehearsing the future. So it's somewhere in between, and that place which is in between is mindfulness practice. So it's about bringing the mind home to be present right here, right now, for the first time. So John Kabat-Zinn would say, mindfulness is a particular way of paying attention to what's happening right here, right now, in a non-judgmental way. And once again, it's about our attention. Where is my attention? I'm sitting here in a chair, but you know what? My mind could be way around to the House of Fraser. Is it open yet? No, during the pandemic. My mind could go away, travel back into the past and rehashing the past. Or I could be time traveling off into the future. So attention, attention, attention. And whenever I think of attention, what comes to my mind is a torch. If you walk into a dark room and you shine the torch into the corner and the corner lights up. You with me? Yep. And then you move the torch around and shine on another corner and then it lights up. So wherever you place your attention is where your energy goes. Yep. So let's do an exercise regarding attention. Now I'm going to introduce my friend here, which is a bell. Not Isabel, but Isabel. Here's the sound of the bell. And the bell is a timekeeper. So the exercise we're going to do now is, it'll last for 30 seconds. So we'll count you in 3, 2, 1. I'll sound the bell, and I'll sound the bell again in 30 seconds time. Okay? So if you find, a nice upright position, adopting a dignified posture, send your feet on the ground. Notice how your seat supports your body, sensing the weight of the body on your seat. Back upright, lower your shoulders, head upright, as though you're balancing a book on the crown of your head. So I'd like you to bring your attention like the beam of a torch to your eyes. And for the next 30 seconds, notice how you blink. So I'll count you in 3, 2, 1. Notice how you blink. Thank you very much indeed. So what did you notice? Some people might say, I was blinking fast. So others might say, I was blinking slow. Others might say, I didn't blink at all. Others might say that their eyelids appeared to be heavy. But what everybody has noticed is how they blink. Their attention is on the blinking. So the good news about mindfulness practice is there's no right way and there's no wrong way. Things are just what they are. Yep. So now I'd like to move on to another exercise. And this exercise lasts for 1 minute. And what I'd like to do for the next minute is to take the finger of one hand, like a pencil, yep, and trace your breath, the speed of your breath, through the other hand, like so. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Is that okay? And what I'd like you to do for the next minute is I'd like you to count your breaths. So it's breathe in, breathe out, that's 1. Breathe in, breathe out, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whatever it is, there's no right number and there's no wrong number. Okay? Again, let's do this with our eyes closed. I'll count you in 3, 2, 1. I'll sound the bell and invite you to count your breaths. 3, 2, 1. Count your breaths. Once again, thank you very much for participating. What did you notice? Again, the feedback could be, that once people begin to practice this simple practice, which is called the task at hand, is that they start to notice that the breath has slowed down. Yeah? But what people notice most of all is that the mind did not wander. It was present to the task at hand, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So the good news is, when it comes to practice, what happens is we start to bring our breath and our body together. Yes? We start to connect the breath and the body, and then in doing so, the mind settles down, almost like, a snow globe, the snow in the snow globe. It's all sort of shook up, set it on the table, and it settles down. So now we're coming to the end of session 1. What mindfulness is and what it's not. I'd like to end with these words, the words of Leonard Cohen. The birds they sang at the break of day. Start again, I heard them say. Don't hold on to yesterday or what is yet to be. Ring the bell that rings. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you soon.